All right, so I'm not gonna lie. Today's video, it's gonna be a bit weird for me. I didn't want to do the stereotypical like YouTuber and like do the oh my god, like someone shot a member of the Migos, another dead celebrity. Let me break down the exact who's it, what's it, and events of what happened. But not that there's not a time and place to want to talk about that information in that sort of way, but because the events of what happened today are so fresh, it's weird. It almost doesn't feel real. And I'm not trying to sound indecisive or insensitive, sorry, but there was just something about this death that I think managed to say something to me and just touch me at a deeper level than I think a lot of other deaths have. And I think back to just even a month ago with PNB Rock. It was only a month ago, and it's crazy to me that someone as influential to the culture as Takeoff, a member of the Migos, can get killed. It sets a different type of precedent. And obviously this isn't relegated to a music issue. It's not a hip hop issue. It's a black people thing, something we have to deal with. We're sick as a people, I would say. It's not all our fault, but I hope we can take accountability when we get there. But on the Migos, these gentlemen managed to make themselves the absolute definition of the word cool. And any and everybody wanted to hear the new cool Migos song, and they wanted to do the things they talked about in those songs, and they wanted to talk in the same manner that they did on those songs. And in a way, I think this overall just sends a message that in the current state of the world, you're never really safe. And I think it's such an obvious thing to state. And anyone could say that at any point in time, and people wouldn't bat an eye. But I think it's just such an important factor to keep in mind at all times. No matter how many records you sell, or how many millions you have in your bank account, or how many people you can sleep with, or whatever, you're still a mortal being. So, you have to take your safety and well-being into account at all times. But it's such a shame. But I think as tragic as this is for the family involved and his friends, I'm sure, and us fans who enjoyed his art and got to know him through that lens, is that like this is the wake up call, the disgusting messaging that we like sometimes I think we need to be reminded of our humanity. And the fact that this is constantly just happening to entertainers and rappers who are a vocal group of individuals that openly kind of endorse or speak about violence, it's just not a good look. It's like the culture is eating itself, especially when we have situations like this going on. The people who are influencing and creating the culture are then just being consumed by it. And I'm not trying to say that this is what is hip hop culture. I don't think that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm not trying to do is point fingers and blame anyone. This is not just obviously a hip hop issue, but when you actually listen to a lot of these rap songs and they're just casually talking about doing whatever, I think we have to start thinking that there's always another side in the situation that has to have the misfortune or the bad thing happen to them. And rap is kind of a art form that benefits greatly off of the misfortune of black people. So that's something we all gotta think about, I think, and wrestle with. And it's not an easy concept because me, just like you, I listen to Migos probably hundreds of thousands of times, and no one, I'm sure, foreseen this outcome. So, not that this situation necessarily reflects the dynamic that I just brought up, but it's more of the idea that violence always really will find a way to you when you least expect it. And for a lot of people, I'm sure, especially if you've ever lived in a low income area, this is something you probably had to come to terms with at a very young age, but sometimes it's deeper than that. You can really just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the only thing you can do, it seems, to improve your chances of that not happening is moving smarter and better, especially if you value what you have to lose, that being your life. And I'm sure after a while we'll have all the specific gritty details of what happened here and why, and we'll be able to see exactly where things escalated and how they could have been calmed or mitigated. But at this point in time, it's hard for me to really just conceptualize how I feel in my entirety about this. It almost feels as though like a close friend of mine passed away, and I know that's just some like weird like fucking celebrity parasocial dynamic thing going on, but if you really think about it, Takeoff, by proxy of the Migos, was really able to work his way into the hearts and homes of many people and many children, just like myself growing up. And a lot of us watched the growth, and from one project to the next, I doubt I'm the only one that feels this way. But anyways, I don't want to ramble on any further. I just think that this is some food for thought for a lot of us to consider, for sure. But this one is heavy. To the man who is only 28 years old, Kirshnik Kyrie Ball, also known as Takeoff, rest easy, man.